people, my name is Blexia and welcome back to my channel. So as you can see from the title, today I'm going to be doing a full review over my Custom Cages hybrid enclosure stack that I have had for quite a few months now. I did a couple other videos featuring it, so as you all know, it is a sponsored item and I'm so thankful, and this is a sponsored video because of that. Thank you, Custom Cages, for this wonderful enclosure. You guys are going to hear all about how much I love it and how it's been holding up later on in the video. And I'm also going to be decorating one of the top 2 foot by 2 foot of this wonderful stack. Finally decided to go ahead and decorate the enclosure. I'm going to insert that video later on. I might put the timestamp down below, but until then, let's get right into the review. Guys, so getting right into the review portion of this video, I'm just going to start off by saying if you are here to in any way hear me say something terrible or bad about these enclosures, you need to click off the video, because the only bad thing I have to say about them is that I wish I had more, and I'm upset that I don't have more of these amazing enclosures. So again, if you're here for negativity, go ahead and click off. Yeah, as I said, these enclosures are amazing. They go above and beyond everything I've wanted for them. Like, I was excited during the unboxing and I kept going on about how great, you know, it looked and how it was to set up and everything like that. Truly, very little issues with it since I've gotten it. The only issue I've had, I'll address a little later on, but it's been such a joy to have. I know that sounds weird, but it is aesthetically pleasing. It has so much storage in each little top section. All of my wires are hidden. I can put, and trust me, I have a lot of wires, guys. Like, I have my thermostats, I have, you know, the light bars, I have heat lamps in there, I have extra stuff, extra lamps on the sides of some of them, because it's just so much storage. I'm going to insert a clip real quick just so you can see how much storage there is. I don't know if I'm going to show you the top of this one or Bumi's. Since I don't have the light on in this one, I might show you Bumi's so you can kind of like see everything versus just a light bar. Anyway, yes, so there's so much storage. I love that. I love how it hides all of your cords. Everything looks very aesthetically pleasing. Again, on the website, you can choose the actual color of the panels that you have on there, but I like dark things. I like the look of this sleek black / dark gray. It just looks a lot sleeker and more professional to me. I really, really like that. Another thing I like is that they are 3-sided enclosures, meaning you have the 2 sides you can see out of and the front. That said, I am leaving the kind of like covering of when they shipped it on the sides, just so that the reptiles inside feel a little bit safer, because most reptiles do feel safer when they have all 3 sides covered versus 3 sides open. That's my personal preference, that's what I'm doing, but if you're using it for more of a show and walk around type of enclosure, then I definitely, you know, obviously take the little coverings off so that everyone can see the full aspect of the enclosure. So going past the storage and like the aesthetics of it, now we're going to get into functionality. And again, nothing bad to say about this enclosure. It works, all of them work exactly how I need them to. The only bad thing I have to say about functionality is that maybe it's too good at its job. And by that I mean these enclosures can hold humidity. Whether you want them to or not, they can hold humidity. I've had no issues with my Aki enclosure or my Blue Tongue Skink enclosure in terms of too high of a humidity. It's not like that because I did put dry substrates, except for the bioactive part, which is no longer a part of Bumi's enclosure. If you want to find out about all of that, go ahead and skip to the end, or wait and see what I have to say first. But it was good at holding humidity, and I know that from this top enclosure. When putting it together, I used an Eco Earth brick, one of the ones that you mix with the water, And I have had the little door open and I've been just baking that substrate because it has held the humidity so well, but I don't need it to be a high humidity part. But if you do, these things are great at holding humidity. I promise you, 10 out of 10 recommend. I am going to have a humid enclosure up here as well. I have no fear now if that will do well or not, but if you're looking for any type of dryer, you will need to open up one of the doors, and I would recommend opening up these here too so it can escape a little bit quicker through the vents, and then opening the back vents all the way if you do put like a damp or wet substrate in there and need it to be drier. I recommend doing that to air it out. But if you need it to be drier, the fact of the matter is it can be aired out because it does have the mesh topping as well as vents in the back, so you can determine how much airflow is in the enclosure, and it works both ways, and that is so great. As a keeper who wants both drier climate and more tropical climate reptiles, it can work for both for you. So keep that in mind whenever putting the substrates in, but it can work both ways. Do not worry about that. Moving on from the humidity, it also holds heat very well. I have zero issues with it in terms of holding heat. Bumi is thriving and living his best little Northern Australian blue-tongued skink life. Down there, he's doing great. It holds heat exactly how you need it to. Once again, if you do want more airflow, you can just open, I'm so bad at this. You can just open the vents wherever they are. You can just open up the vents and allow more or less airflow into the enclosure depending on if you want it to get like a little cooler or warmer. And it also depends on if you're near an air vent or anything. I never recommend putting reptile enclosures next to air vents, but that's a whole nother story. Anyway, it can, hold the heat if you need it to. You can also release some heat by opening the vents if you need it to. It does everything I need it to and more. As I said, this enclosure, top tier. I love it so much. There's just so much that I love about this enclosure. Does really well with bioactive, as you can see from the bioactive Aki enclosure. That one actually is thriving, and we've only lost a couple of plants. I'm gonna insert small video clip showing you how it looks right now. Really good with bioactive, does really good if you want non-bioactive. Again, Bumi's enclosure, skip to the end to see it, and it provides everything you need to make it whatever type of reptile enclosure you want it to be. Of course, within the correct size parameters and everything. But I mean, it holds temperatures, it holds humidity. You can have less humidity, you can do pretty much anything your creative reptile owner mind wants it to, and that is just so amazing to me. I love this enclosure so much. And again, I've only had it for 5 months. April, May, June, 6 months. I've had it for 6 months now, and I'm in love with it. I can't wait to see just how my tropical enclosure is going to turn out. But all the others so far have turned out really well, and I would fully like to think that's because they are enclosures that give you the upper hand in terms of reptile care. They truly help you provide the best life that you can for your reptile. And for that, I am very thankful. Very thankful. Now that you guys know how I feel about it and my little here's what to look out for in terms of humidity part of the enclosures, they're great. That's the end of my review. 10 out of 10 is the review. Love them, recommend them to everyone. They will be linked down below. Moving on from this, you get to watch me now decorate the enclosure, and then once again there's going to be a little Bumi portion at the very end of the video. So thank you for watching the review part of the video. I appreciate you all. Moving on. Okay guys, so getting into the enclosure build part of the video, I'm going to just do a voiceover for you. Yes, I'm sorry, I'm not talking while actually putting together the enclosure, just because I was on a tiny step stool and it took me a little bit of time, and I was out of breath by the end of it because I was kind of on my tippy toes. Anyway, as you can see, this enclosure already has all of the substrate in it whenever I start out the video, and that is because I had to use the Eco-Earth brick, the Eco-Earth bricks to put this substrate in here, and I had it in there for overnight just so that I could kind of see if it would dry out. I am going to be completely drying out this substrate for the reptile that is going to go into it. No, I'm not going to tell you guys what reptile is going into it. You'll have to wait and see, but if you would like to guess, you can always put it in the comments below. Moving directly into what I'm doing, as you can see, I have my Eco-Earth in there. I had my thermostat kind of up on a branch just to ensure that I could get the proper temperature from a certain height. I could, so I ended up going ahead and putting my basking spot over in that corner there. I put a log to where it could hide underneath, and the basking spot right on top. That will be the warm side of the enclosure. As you can see from what I am doing here, I kind of did what I did in my Ackie monitor as well as Bumi's enclosure, just because it seems to really work well for the hot to cool gradient. Gives them a spot to not only be on the warm side but out of the actual basking spot itself, but just kind of hide on the warm side if they want to. So I put in my warm side hide as well as the basking spot, and then I decided to use the little log slash stick thingy that I had originally holding the thermometer and put a fake plant behind it just to kind of add some greenery into it. After putting the fake plant in, I put in a humid hide because the reptile going into here needs a hot hide, a humid hide, and a cold side hide. I'm not going to be adding the cold side hide in this video, but I will be inserting a picture on Instagram of the finished enclosure, and it will have the cold side hide on it. I just haven't quite gotten it yet. Most of these products that I'm using, except for the light itself, the Arcadia 7% shade dweller light that is on the top of this enclosure, I had to go and buy that, and I had to buy the Eco-Earth bricks, but everything else I already had here at my apartment, and I was just kind of throwing together this enclosure, of course with specific parameters in mind, but I was throwing it together trying to use stuff that I had already had in my apartment. After I put in all of the hides and the fake plant, I'm probably going to add another fake plant. Looking at it now, I just want to get the cold side hide in there and see where I would put it, and just kind of space it out in my head. But once all the hides were added, I added a little water dish, a little food dish, specifically a mealworm dish, because I am going to be feeding superworms, mealworms, things of that to this particular reptile, and then a calcium dish because you need to have calcium present at all time for these reptiles. So there you have it. That is the enclosure being built for you guys. I hope you like the end product. It was just a quick little thing. Like I said, I am going to let the substrate completely dry out before I even put a reptile into it because it is quite humid right now, which if you heard from in the earlier part of the video, it stays humid pretty well in here. Quick Bumi update. As we can see, he's over in the corner, kind of under his basking area. He is doing great. He looks annoyed, but he's doing good. Oh, he knocked off the temperature gauge. Anyway, as you can see, all the real plants are no longer there. In fact, this is all new substrate, no more bioactive, and that is because we had an earwig infestation that was taken care of. And by taken care of, I mean I called one of my friends who is a reptile and invert keeper and told him to come and grab all the substrate because I don't really like bugs all that much, and earwigs specifically really freak me out and scare me, so we had those removed. He took all the soil. I got all new soil and some fake plants for him. And now he's just chilling in his home. I wish he would come out so you guys can see the colors more. I'll insert a picture later if I can get any, but he's a long boy and he's doing so good. I want to get some more logs and stuff to put in here, and fake plants, specifically because a lot had to be taken out when the substrate switch happened, and I'm just going to stick with fake plants for him because I'm not going through another earwig infestation, and we're pretty sure the eggs came from one of my plants that I ordered from Josh's Frogs. I'm not sure, but yeah, so that's Bumi. That's how Bumi's doing. I think he's getting ready to close his eyes. He looks sleepy. Oh, and we're asleep. Oh, how cute. Okay, well, yep, there's the Bumi update. Hope you guys enjoy. Alright guys, thank you so much for making it to the end of this video. Please make sure to hit that like and subscribe button if you haven't already. And once again, a huge thank you to Custom Cages for this wonderful enclosure and just being able to give my reptiles the absolute best quality of home that I can while looking aesthetically pleasing. I appreciate it, and Bumi appreciates it more than you know. If you are interested in seeing more reptile care or animal care videos in the future, once again, make sure to subscribe and stay tuned for my videos to come. Thank you all for the love and support, and I can't wait to see you next time. Bye!